What would you confess if you could finally say, I can't keep this to myself anymore? I'm not fully human anymore because of irreversible brain damage. Back in 2009, I had a serious head injury. For a while, I was actually gone, but the doctors brought me back. I spent 3 days in the hospital, and nobody thought I'd survive, but I did. Now I live with permanent amnesia. I lost all of my memories. I don't even remember my mother's face. At one point, I couldn't even recognize my own reflection. Everything before 2009 is a blurry haze at best. It took me 5 years to accept my new reality and to realize that I lost the ability to feel fear because of permanent damage to my brain's spooky almond, aka the amygdala. I also lost the emotional connection with my now ex-wife. Without fear, I don't even feel fully human anymore. A person who can't experience fear is basically a discount monster. There are fewer limits on what such a person might do, and that's not as fun as it sounds. Physically, I'm still human, but losing fear supercharged all my other emotions. I can love deeply, but I can also hate with fire. I put in massive effort to avoid anger because to this day, I don't know how to stop myself once I get going. When I'm angry, it's like a red fog covers my vision. I hear my blood pounding in my ears. I feel like I'll explode. It takes unbelievable strength to keep it contained. Usually I just sit there silently, gripping the table or clenching my fists until I get back control. No one really knows how explosive I can be, and I want to keep it that way. I don't want people to be scared of me, but they would be if they knew. I just lost my daughter. I'm a 38-year-old man. 20 years ago, my high school sweetheart and I had an oops moment which brought our daughter into the world. I was completely in love. The first time I held her, I felt like a whole new person. Like most young parents, it was tough at first, but our families helped us while we pushed through college to build a better future. I went to law school, she became a nurse. We married at 23. Life was good. We were saving up for a house, working hard, and our daughter was growing up too fast. I cherished every moment. But when we turned 26, everything crashed. I caught my wife in our bed with an older guy she worked with at the hospital. He was almost 40, loaded with cash, and apparently this had been going on for months. We divorced soon after. At first, custody was split 50-50, but little by little, my daughter drifted away. She told me her new stepdad was better, that he gave her everything she wanted, and that she loved him more. It broke me. I begged her to give me a chance, but she shut me out. At 15, they took her to court, where she told the judge she wanted nothing to do with me. Her mom got full custody. I never saw her again after that day. It crushed me. I swear death would have been easier. Years of therapy followed, and only in the last 2 to 3 years did I start to truly move on. My business took off. I opened my own law firm, got remarried to a wonderful woman whose husband had passed, and built a great relationship with her kids. We're even expecting a child together. I was genuinely happy. Honestly, I had managed to put my daughter completely out of my mind. Then last week, a call came from an unknown number. I answered thinking it was someone I knew, but it was my ex-wife. She told me our daughter had been in a terrible accident and died. She gave details about the funeral and asked me to come with my parents. I couldn't speak. She realized, then hung up. I broke down instantly. I had learned to live without her, but the thought that she's really gone, that I'll never get a last chance to tell her I love her, absolutely destroyed me. She was still my little girl, and I still loved her beyond words. I went to the funeral and cried like a child. My ex hugged me, apologized, and told me our daughter had loved me and wanted to reconcile, but was too ashamed after our last meeting. Even her stepdad said she had planned to reach out, but now it was too late. A few days later, her mother gave me a photo album of her life. Looking through it hurt more than anything. Seeing all her milestones without me in them, and realizing she's truly gone. She was a beautiful, smart young woman, studying law like me. I wish I had one more chance to tell her how much I loved her and how proud I was. I intentionally caused a car accident once. I didn't expect it to go as badly as it did. A couple of weeks ago, my friend called me while driving. He was panicked. Some psycho was tailing him on the highway. Even at 50 miles per hour, the guy wouldn't back off, flashing lights and weaving like he wanted to scare him. He said he was near me and worried the driver might follow or do something when he stopped. I was nearby and told him, "Send your location, I'm coming." He said, "When I see you, flash the high beams and you brake sharply. Let him crash." We had joked before about giving aggressive drivers a lesson. I knew the lights could briefly blind someone at night, and not every driver would react safely. So I did it. I flashed twice. My friend braked harder than I expected. Things escalated fast. Tires squealed. In the rear view, I saw the other car's front crushed. Airbags deployed instantly. My friend's rear bumper crumpled into the trunk. Glass shattered. His trunk contents flew onto the front seat. The other driver was taken to the hospital. I haven't heard about him since. On paper, he was at fault. Too close. No distance. Insurance covered it all. But my friend distanced himself after that. What felt like a fun joke became terrifyingly real. I don't know what to think. On one hand, the other driver was acting like a total maniac. On the other, every time I think about it, my chest tightens genes. That stunt should never have been attempted. I secretly did a paternity test. 2 years ago, my wife and I had a son. From the very start, I felt something was off. It was obvious. He just didn't look like us. Yes, I know kids don't always resemble their parents, and appearances change with age, but this was different. Our baby was born blonde, blue-eyed, and with very fair skin. I'm Mexican, my wife is Colombian. We both have dark hair, brown eyes, and olive-toned skin. Same with our parents and grandparents. The lightest traits in our families are my mom's light brown eyes. How could our son have blonde hair and sky blue eyes? People kept saying, "Oh, babies' eyes are often blue at first. They'll darken later." I waited. A month passed, then 2, then 6, and he got lighter. Golden hair, sky blue eyes. Strange comments started. "Wow, are you sure he's yours?" People even mistook my wife for a nanny at the playground. It burned me up inside. She brushed it off, saying I was overthinking and it was just genetics, but doubt kept growing. I had no reason not to trust her, except for the kid's appearance. Finally, I did a test without telling her. 100% mine. I felt a huge weight lift. I wanted to send it to everyone who had ever joked about it. That same night at dinner, I asked her how she'd feel if I seriously did a paternity test. She tensed, saying it would have hurt her deeply, made her feel distrusted, and could have damaged our relationship. I just smiled and said, "Relax, I was joking." But now instead of doubt, I feel guilt. I feel petty and weak, unsure whether to tell her the truth or keep it buried forever. The father of my kids is actually my relative. This might shock some people, but it doesn't bother me anymore because I know neither of us was at fault. We met when we were 19, and I swear there was this rare soul-level connection. He was mysterious, charming, and I fell hard. We were together for 6 years, had 2 kids. Then came the family reunion on my mom's side. We weren't close with them. They remembered me as a child, but to me, they were basically friendly strangers. They asked about my partner, who wasn't with me. His unusual last name caught an older relative's attention. After some digging through a family book, we discovered his mother was the great-granddaughter of my great-uncle. Translation, we were distant cousins. At first, I panicked, guilt, shame, all of it, but everyone, even the relatives I barely knew, reassured me. They told me I had beautiful, healthy kids and reminded me that back in the day, marrying cousins, even close ones, was considered totally fine. We never married, but sadly our relationship ended anyway because he started secretly using bad rainbow sprinkles. He became dependent, wasted away to half his old weight. It hurts to admit, but he's still battling it. I think of him often. Nobody knows about this except me, him, and the few relatives at that reunion. Well, and now, all of you. Thanks for listening. So, my buddy, he's 40, has legendary level bad hygiene. I only found out after my friend had a, let's say, romantic encounter with him. And honestly, that changed how I saw him completely. This guy, let's call him my forever bachelor friend, isn't single by choice. He's a genuinely good human. Like if Shakespearean level charm was a real dating category, he would absolutely be it. He's smart, kind, funny, thoughtful, stylish, shorter than average, but no fun size in the play and energy at all. For years, I tried to help him find a partner. Finally, I thought I found the perfect match. My other friend opened to a relationship, great vibes, and their energies just clicked instantly. I introduced them. At a party, I sat them together. Sparks everywhere. Instant chemistry. Within a couple weeks, they went on a date. She felt it was something real, so she went home with him. At first, all good, but then there was a smell. She couldn't place it right away because she was distracted in the moment, but when things got a little more couch-level romantic, she noticed some dishes piled up with fuzzy, greenish-blue science experiments on them. She politely suggested moving to the bedroom. That's when it turned into a full-blown horror movie. She started sneezing. Turns out there was mold on the pillows, mold on the blanket, mold on the walls, mold on the floor so thick it looked like moss, hair flakes and mystery crumbs everywhere. She panicked. Her skin broke out in a rash right on the spot. She grabbed her backpack off the floor, also covered in mold. She had to shake it out. At that point, she bolted. She told him she physically couldn't stay in that place and that he needed to clean not just for his health, but for the moral integrity of humanity. She still laughs at that line to this day. I was so embarrassed to even talk to him afterward. Back then, I didn't know how to be direct. She asked me not to tell anyone, so out of friendship, I kept quiet. Years passed. Now I feel like it's okay to share this anonymously. But here's the thing. I stopped being embarrassed and started being worried. What was happening in his life that he was breathing in that environment every single day? I should have been a better friend, but I didn't know how to tell him, bro, you're losing the game because of mold. I used to sneeze around him too, but didn't think much of it. Haven't seen him in over 10 years now. I just hope he's okay. I regret never having that talk with him. Also edited, I actually reached out to my old friend again. Huge thanks to everyone who encouraged me to check on him and reminded me how important that is. I'm a single dad. I just found out my daughter got her first job at a local sparkle dance club. My ex-wife hasn't been involved since our daughter was 4. I've been working 11-hour days for years trying to provide for us, which means I haven't seen her as much as I wanted. My daughter has always been a rebel. She struggled in school, then dropped out. She was often cruel to others. Teachers called me constantly about her bullying classmates. I've always felt like a failure as a father because I never knew what to do. I tried to warn her when she was younger, telling her she'd get nowhere if she kept acting like that. Skipping school, hanging out with chaotic goblins. She never listened. I found random junk and stacks of cash in her room that didn't make sense for someone her age with no job. She didn't care when I confronted her. She got her first tattoo at 15 without telling me. Now at 18, she has 14 tattoos, including, for crying out loud, a banana-shaped blaster. I don't even want to talk about her socials and TikTok, the outfits, the captions, the way she presents herself. When people leave nasty comments about her appearance, she actually engages with them, laughs, and seems proud of it. Guys call her hot or trash tier cutie or say she has daddy issues. It drives me absolutely bananas, but she leans into it, thanks them, and plays along. She's very open with me and I'm open with her. We've talked about it. She explained that she loves the attention, that she knows she's attractive, and she's using her looks to make money. I won't lie, it makes me angry, but what can I do? I feel like I failed her. I always tried to be a role model, but I clearly came up short. Still, I love her. She's my everything. Her happiness matters most to me. I'll support her no matter what. Yesterday, she told me about the new job at the Sparkle Dance Club. I've always been realistic. I never pushed her to be a doctor or a lawyer, but her choice of career breaks my heart. I feel powerless. Every hour that passes, I'm trying harder to accept her for who she is and what she wants, but I don't know if that's the right thing. Honestly, I don't know anything anymore. I lie about how many kids I have, and every time my heart just shatters. I have 5 children. 3 were taken by child services, and I still raise the other 2. I was a terrible mom. My firstborn met a social worker for the first time when he was just 5 weeks old. His whole life was under their watch. By age 7, he and his sisters were removed. I fought for my kids hard and probably in vain. I spent all my time trying to prove I was a good mom instead of actually being one. They were hungry, dirty, forgotten, and I kept insisting I was good at this mom thing. I was selfish, indifferent, and made dumb decisions. During the year after they were taken, men came into my life. First one, then another. Both had criminal records involving kids. I broke it off immediately both times, but I still put my children in danger twice. Child services made it clear there wouldn't be another chance. I gave up. I went to their office and said, "Take the kids. I can't do this." After that, I disappeared. I left my old life, moved to another city, hung out with shady people, tried to forget. Nothing helped. I returned home, but it wasn't home anymore. I was forbidden from seeing my kids. I lost my house, family, friends, literally my entire life. 6 years later, I got pregnant again. I remember looking at the test and feeling the horror. Another child could be taken away. I built a wall around my feelings and pretended to be happy. But this time, we made it. There were complications, an emergency C-section, and premature birth. Child services can't evaluate parents in those situations, so we kept our daughter. Until discharge, I expected them to take her. I pretended to be a good mom while they evaluated us. 6 months later, we were cleared. They even said our story was one of their best return to a happy family cases. I still half expect them to show up and take her. She's 10 now. 6 years ago, she got a little sister. Social workers haven't been here for 9 years, but every knock on the door still makes my heart stop. I love my kids, all of them, but with that love comes thoughts I wish I didn't have. I wasn't a perfect mom. I often put my desires above their needs, and honestly, I don't know if I've changed or just gotten better at pretending. More than 10 years have passed. No one in my life knows about the other 3 kids. Not neighbors, not school, not acquaintances. I avoid conversations and friendships. When asked, I just say, I have 2. Every time, it feels like a betrayal to the ones I keep silent about. Explaining is complicated. People look at you like they already get it. A mix of pity and judgment, and I look down. Sometimes it feels like my whole life is a fake, like I swapped one family for another. I wonder what my older kids would think if they ever learn the truth. For the 2 I raise now, I try to give everything. Love, stability, warmth, the things my older kids lacked. One day, I may have to explain why I couldn't be the same mom for all of them. I don't have the answers, and maybe they won't want to hear them. Honestly, I wouldn't blame them. My wife passed away earlier this year. Everyone who knew us thinks it was sudden. She went to the hospital during the day, and by night she was gone. That's not true. Nobody knows the real story except me. She spent almost a week in the hospital, but she hated being seen vulnerable. She asked me not to tell anyone, and I kept that promise. After a day, she could no longer consciously change her mind, and I just waited. I thought everything would be normal soon, and she'd scold me for telling people too much. I was wrong. I told work I had COVID and stayed home. Actually stayed in the hospital room with her. She had recently lost her job due to layoffs, barely saw anyone anyway, so no one suspected a thing. Even on my birthday, she was there. I posted a photo of her gift on social media. No one asked any question. I was the only one listening to everything the doctor said, yet I still couldn't believe the worst could happen. She was young, we had time. At least, that's what I thought. Now, months later, I still haven't told anyone. I don't know if I ever will. Today is our anniversary. Even though I'm alone at home, I raise a glass for you, my love. Happy anniversary. You are everything I had, everything I have. I really want to quit OnlyFluffs. I've been on OnlyFluffs for 5 years now. About 80% of my income comes from there. All this time, I also kept a normal job, but it just never covered my bills. Now, after 5 years, I feel like I'm losing my mind from staying in this hustle. The mental pressure is just unreal. I know some people will jump in with the, well, duh, you should have known what you were getting into, but I started young. I know that's not an excuse, but at the time, I honestly didn't care. Now it's eating me alive. I want to quit so badly, but I can't. I literally need the money to pay my bills. It's not like I'm living some glamorous life. I don't travel, I don't splurge on fancy stuff. I saved a little, but I was never one of those mega stars of OF. Just an ordinary girl making enough to cover expenses and put away a tiny bit. Not much for my age, and now the mental toll is crushing me. I tried sales and I'm still trying side hustles, but with little success. I never really knew what I wanted to do. I don't have any strong interests or specialized education that would land me a wow job. When I started OF, I thought I'd make a bunch of money and invest in real estate. But here I am 5 years later with 0 properties and a reputation that feels permanently dented. Even though I don't have a huge following, I feel like this will always hang over me. So yeah, maybe don't quit your day job to start an OnlyFluffs career. And I really appreciate the kindness I've gotten in the comments here. I know people like me get judged harshly, and even more so when we want out. I just want to be done with it. But the truth is, I have no one in my life to talk to about this, so I'm sharing it here. If you have any ideas for other jobs, I'm all ears. I already work full-time, but maybe I could find a side gig? I just don't know. Thank you for watching. Drop your own confessions in the comments and check out our other episodes. See you next time.